On today's Ask Connie Anything question, we're going to take Britta Green Violet's question a little bit further, and I'm joined by Cooper Warner with Namaste Law. So our first question, we answered the difference between the sole proprietorship and the LLC. So now, what one thing should people consider when choosing between doing business as a sole proprietorship versus an LLC?
So when you do business as a sole proprietorship, there is really no distinction between you as the business owner and the business itself. So you are on the hook for all of the obligations, the debts, the liabilities of your business. With an LLC, on the other hand, your business is more or less distinct from you as an individual. So if something goes wrong in the course of doing business as an LLC, say you get sued, you could lose everything that you've put into the business and everything your business has. But everything that you have as an individual, your personal assets, so things like bank accounts, your personal property, whether that be a home or a car, all of that is isolated and protected from your business. So
Sure.
You could lose everything that you've invested in your business and everything your business has, but you yourself as an individual, as that business owner, will have your personal assets protected. And for that reason and that reason alone, I recommend the LLC structure because, we're not all going to be isolated from problems arising in our
Right.
business. And the cost of an LLC in Oregon is $100 every year. In Washington, it's $200 at the beginning and then $60 every year to maintain. That is such a small cost and such a high reward that you get as the business owner in having personal liability protection. So
Right.
That is number one importance to me, and why 99% of the small businesses I work with are LLCs and not sole proprietorships.
That's really great because 19 years ago when I worked a lot in tax, people were just hanging their shingles and doing sole proprietorships. It's the easiest thing to do. I know I did when I started my business. Sole proprietorship was super easy, but I was never considering the extra protection. And it can happen in any business. I think people are like, well, attorney, that makes sense to do an LLC. You've got to have that extra protection, but any business really. And it's so inexpensive.
It is. And I mean, with professionals, who are held to different standards, like attorneys, there are limitations on that personal liability protection. I think for this conversation today, we don't need to get into those. But even if you aren't the only business owner, so you're a multi-member LLC, so there's more than one business owner, say your business partner does something, you don't want to be on the hook for what your business partner did wrong. You want all of your personal assets to be protected,
Yeah.
and an LLC will provide you that protection. If something happens with an employee, for example, you will be protected as a business owner. So it's this really, really, really important advantage that is sometimes overlooked. And I understand, when businesses are starting out, so many questions, so many, things to worry about, but you can't always have your head in the clouds. And I think that's where an attorney comes in and often, brings you back to reality and paints a picture that, there will be risks. There are risks in starting a business. That's just inevitable. And so do yourself a favor, let yourself rest easily at night, and know that, everything that you've worked for and up to this point will be safe and safe in case anything goes wrong.
I love that. So if you found yourself your sole proprietorship and you're like questioning what all this is, remember, ask an attorney, schedule an hour, have a conversation with them. It doesn't have to be scary, but figure out for yourself, because changing from a sole proprietorship to an LLC is probably not going to be too difficult. We've already talked about the fees are low, but there is a registration required for that. So check with your attorney, especially in your own state, but also Cooper is with Namaste Law, and she'd be more than happy to have that conversation if you are here in Oregon or Washington.
Definitely.
So, cool. So if you had any other questions about this, see the link for the job form. And until next time, wishing you much success, joy, and of course, always profits. See ya.